Peak wealth in the 21st century is defined by tech founders. We measure their success through private islands, orbital rockets, and net worths that dominate the headlines. This chart shows the combined net worth of the top 10 wealthiest people alive today. Stacked together, they reach $1.5 trillion. But in the 1300s, a single ruler reached that valuation entirely on his own, Mansa Musa. As the emperor of the Mali Empire, his territory sat directly on top of more than half of the world's supply of both gold and salt. Today's richest individuals operate within strict legal frameworks and market regulations. To comprehend true, boundless wealth, we have to look at eras where absolute ownership applied to the state itself. We call this sovereign wealth. In the ancient and medieval worlds, no legal barrier separated the national treasury from the ruler's private bank account. These rulers treated the land and its resources as deeded personal property. The Roman Emperor Augustus provides the clearest example. He claimed the entirety of Egypt as his personal, private estate. This graphic illustrates the scale of that claim. When historians calculate the value of ancient Egypt, they estimate Augustus possessed a net worth of $4.6 trillion in today's money, matching the entire gross domestic product of modern Germany. To see what happens when a sovereign wealth ruler interacts with a foreign market, we return to Mansa Musa. During his 1324 pilgrimage to Mecca, he traveled with a caravan carrying so much pure gold that he accidentally flooded the Egyptian market. By distributing his excess wealth along the route, he collapsed the Egyptian economy for an entire decade. In a sovereign wealth environment, there is no friction. The economy of a nation simply bends to the personal spending habits of its owner. This type of limitless power eventually collapsed under the weight of political upheaval. In the 1917 revolution, the Bolsheviks seized Nicholas II's $300 billion estate, liquidating the last great sovereign fortune of the imperial age. Because individuals could no longer legally own entire nations, ambitious industrialists pivoted. They focused on owning the raw materials required to build nations, creating the era of industrial wealth. John D. Rockefeller achieved a scale of dominance that is nearly impossible to replicate today. At his peak, he controlled 90% of all the oil flowing through the United States. While Andrew Carnegie built a $310 billion empire in steel, Rockefeller became history's first recognized billionaire, reaching an adjusted net worth of $340 billion. But the government eventually caught up. The introduction of antitrust laws and the system of distributed corporate shares placed a hard ceiling on how much of an industry one person could control. The extreme concentration seen in the ancient world is returning. Modern technology provides the infrastructure to resurrect the trillionaire monarch, this time behind the shield of a proprietary digital empire. For thousands of years, extreme wealth concentration was the human default. The highly regulated, distributed markets we see today are a fragile historical exception. This raises a critical question. What happens if someone discovers a resource that bypasses physical borders and antitrust laws entirely? Artificial intelligence and the endless ocean of digital user data represent that entirely new, unregulated frontier for the modern empire. A government can send regulators to physically dismantle an oil refinery. However, a proprietary AI model trained on billions of global data points can be legally owned and operated by a single private entity without geographic restriction. The extreme concentration seen in the ancient world is returning. Modern technology provides the infrastructure to resurrect the trillionaire monarch, this time behind the shield of a proprietary digital empire.